Welcome to another tutorial for OSO Plus. Today I'm gonna take you through 3 different new features that will launch very soon. The first one is gonna focus on designs. I'm gonna take you to all the different designs that we are preparing in this new launch. The second one is gonna show the dynamic range that the user can experience just within one quadrant. And the third one will focus to show how someone might feel differently about the same thing over time. And this is because our emotions can change. They're dynamic. So, are you guys ready? Let's begin. Okay, so let's talk first about designs. As you can see, my OSO mark is color, a nice bright magenta-like color. That's because I'm a premium OSO subscriber. And as such, this new feature that is gonna come very soon can be accessed through the designs menu. So let's have a look. If I tap on the 3 dots, you will notice that on the menu we have a new option called designs. So I will select designs and you will see all the different type of designs that we have available, and all of them under premium. And what is very interesting about OSO that is taking the color palette of these designs and mapping into the different quadrants that we have in our sphere. So right now I'm using Gush. And we also added a small description of what Gush represents. In this case, Gush represents sharp, focused, and strong. And you will notice in the background that we have the color magenta. And what happens if we change to geometric? So the color change, vertical bars for example, again, starburst, and so on and so forth. But let's go back to Gush. And I will tap one more time over here in active. So I go back to my sphere. So as we move through the OSO, you can see my OSO color mark changes from orange to magenta, down into blue, then into a beautiful teal color, and finally into purple. And when we max out here, it goes into red. So yeah, this is a very new cool feature, and we'll keep adding more designs by the time. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk now about dynamic range. So for this second part, I want to illustrate how there is a lot of dynamic range in a single quadrant. It's not just happiness or angriness, sadness or calmness as we talked in our previous video. There is a lot of dynamic range within one quadrant. For this example, let's focus on the happiness quadrant. So as I do my OSO here, you can see that I'm very high energy. I'm very activated. I'm slightly happy, but I'm mainly activated. Versus, if I tap down here, you can see that I'm quite happy, but far less activated. And further, as I experience both high activation and high happiness, I'm maxing out my OSO. And that takes me into the upper right hand quadrant. And you can see how the numbers change to reflect that. So remember, it's not just 4 quadrants, but there is rather a continuum of different emotional responses. That's part of the landscape that your emotional GPS also will enable you to report. So that's why we call also your emotional GPS. Okay, so let's move on and let's go to the final part. So let's talk about how someone might feel differently about the same thing over time. Let's say I'm angry about something. And over time, I become less activated. I'm still upset, but less activated. Maybe a little bit sad even. And as time passes, I start becoming a little less upset and less activated. And finally, I start to become activated again and even happy. Doing some retrospective, I'm actually happy about something that might have angered me before. So that is kind of interesting. And all this shows my journey over this emotional landscape. So if we can check all the different OSOs that I was doing before, all this illustrates that emotions are complex and unpredictable, and also emotions are never wrong. So if you think about it, how you feel and your feelings can change over time. You are the only one that knows how you truly feel. So by creating your OSOs, you're training your emotional muscles and trying to localize how you feel and turning that into action through the human touch. It's like you're collecting timestamps of your life, creating a time capsule, a place where you can always come back, and which will help you to understand how to overcome probably more tough situations in the future. So that's why we say that OSO is your emotional GPS. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope you like it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.